Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this morning. If you would please help me welcome to the podium President of the Colorado Water Congress, Mr. Jim Broderick.
Thank you, everybody. I'm very pleased to see everybody here today. We're really having an outstanding conference. We're having record numbers. If you weren't here yesterday, I'm sorry because you missed a lot of really wonderful activities. I want to talk a little bit about last night's late afternoon, early evening event the Pond group put on. Once again, that room had so much energy and so much activity. If you haven't been to one of those, please don't miss it next year because they're just wonderful. I thought it was fairly enlightening that they came up with that activity. I wanted to use a wedge. They wouldn't let me. I thought it would be appropriate to talk a little bit about the wedges since our conference has to do with a bunch of wedges with regard to the Colorado Water Plan. So I think if we could, that's a wonderful activity that went on, and I just want to say thank you to the Pond Committee on behalf of the Water Congress. The other piece that I want to make sure that I get going a little bit is from an overview, the next couple of days, we're going to try to unwrap the Colorado Water Plan. We're going to try to understand some pieces of it. We're going to try to secure and have an understanding of about what our present water supply is and how do we protect and have safeguards to that. We need to make sure that we're taking care of our water rights. Some of the discussion will be as we get into the morning and lunch is, are there other places that we can look for answers, such as the Rotary's four-way tests, and how would that apply to the things that we're doing? The next wedge, the theme, the water conservation, how do you define it? What's the baseline? What are the standards? How do you integrate water conservation and land use? How do utilities show value to that piece? Is legislation needed, and how do you implement the legislation for conservation goals or for other legislation? How do you educate and outreach to engage the public? A lot of us that are here have been playing with this for 10 years. How do you make sure that the public understands that we don't have 10 years? How has the water plan set up new expectations? I hear and listen as I walk around and everybody's excited about how do we get going. They all have their own expectations because they all view it from a wedge that they're most interested in. In a moment, I'll get into having a discussion about polling, and we'll start to find out how we do some of that stuff. But how do we know we're successful? What is the political will you heard this morning? The political will back and forth. You all talked to people at each of your tables and got an in-depth piece of some of those issues. So how do we reach and secure our future for Colorado's water? That is what we're trying to discuss in the next couple of days. With that, I want to have Kelly, if you will, talk a little bit about what we need to do to set up the polling. And so, just a second. Get out your phones.
Everybody's got one.
And guys, I know everybody's got one. And I'm not going to ask you to tweet or Twitter or any of those things, but I know you guys send messages because I get them all the time. Kelly, it's yours. Tell them how to do it.
Thank you, Jim. First things first, everyone. We are going to begin our polling today by texting CWC 2016 to 22333. That is step one. So if we can all do that right now, that would be lovely. And while you're doing it, may I just remind you that I will remind you to tweet. And using the hashtag CWCAC2016, just as a reminder, we do have a leaderboard going. And right now, we have a leader, John Orr at Coyote Gulch is our leader for the top engager of the conference so far. Who's going to catch at Coyote Gulch? Who's going to do that? Could be you, if you text and if you tweet. Okay, so let's do our first polling question. How many attendees in the room are at their first Colorado Water Congress annual convention? This is my first convention. You will select A and text A. This is my second. I have many. So look at that. We are in real time. Looks like a lot of you have attended multiple annual conventions, and we thank you for your continued support of the Colorado Water Congress. About 28% of you are at your first, and we have a few that are at their second. Wonderful. Let's go ahead and go into our second. Oh, hold on.
I'm not done polling yet. Hold on.
Oh, you're not done polling?
Okay, I sinned. Okay, now I'm ready.
Thank you, Doug. All right, this one is officially closed, and we have about 20. I say that, but then it still is counting. Technology.
So Kelly, is the CWC 2016, is that case sensitive? No.
It is not case sensitive.
So listen, while they're doing that, I even got this right, okay? So for those of you that are thinking this is tough, it isn't. So we got it. Go ahead, Kelly.
Perfect. We're going to go ahead and go to our next poll question, which is River Basin of Residents. Where are you from? Are you from South Platte? Are you from Arkansas? Are you from Rio Grande? Are you from Gunnison, Colorado, Yampa, White, North Platte? Or are you from the beautiful San Juan? They're actually all beautiful. I shouldn't give San Juan any additional. Wow, looks like a lot of you are in the South Platte district. Arkansas representing quite well. Colorado is up there. Wonderful. Looks like South Platte is our big winner with the most River Basin residents.
They get a little bit more nervous than everybody else, South Platte.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and stop texting. So if you are texting, go ahead and stop on this particular poll. And then we're going to go to our final poll of this session, which is your age group. Now, I know it's very tempting to lie, but it's anonymous. Are you from the greatest generation? Are you a baby boomer? Give it up for the X people. Or are you a millennial? Wow, look at that. Lots of baby boomers, lots of X-Men, millennials representing. All right, we're going to give just a few more moments, Jim, for this poll to tally.
That'll be fine.
And X generation is the big winner. I guess you can assume where I'm from. Thank you very much for taking place. We're going to do some various polls throughout the day. And back to you, Jim.
Thank you very much. I think it was important for you to get kind of an idea of where people are, the age group they're working, how many have shown up. For those that are here for the first time or second time, welcome, welcome, welcome. We love having you, and I think it's wonderful that you're here. So how do you start to unwrap this water plan? I only know one person that can do that, and one board that might be able to do that. I only have to say one name. So when you can only use your first name For recognition, you know people know who you are. James, come on up and try to explain to us or unwrap the water plan as it was written.